beauty is inherent. Yesterday is behind us. Clad in sports attire, Li Wenli, though not as provocative as Shi Yunru, radiated a unique youthful vigor that was equally appetizing. With his passions ablaze, Chen Xiao stepped forward and swept her into an embrace. "What are you doing? It's time to take a shower. I'm feeling quite unpleasant. Please refrain from such comments. This is the only outfit I have with me, and I did not bring change. It's best to stay away from the window. What if someone across the street is using binoculars?" Throughout the course of more than an hour, Li Wenli's every attempt at resistance proved futile. Chen Xiao lay back contentedly on the soft bed. Li Wenli felt utterly drained, unwilling to lift a single finger. After a brief respite, Chen Xiao patted Li Wenli and said, "Let us go. It's time to return to school." "I can't do it. I have no strength left." "You should go back on your own," Li Wenli murmured. "All right then, perhaps you should engage in more physical exercise. Just look at your stamina," Chen Xiao remarked. Li Wenli merely shrugged in protest, too exhausted to utter a word. Chen Xiao glanced at her and added, "Don't forget to check out tomorrow. There is still a deposit of 2,000 yuan at the front desk. You can keep that as pocket money, and if you get hungry, just call room service. It can be deducted from the deposit." Li Wenli nodded faintly, unsure if she absorbed his words. After a quick tidy-up, Chen Xiao left the hotel and hailed a cab back to school, lamenting, how inconvenient it is to be without a car. Given his current financial situation, he could indeed afford a vehicle. Although he knows how to drive, he has yet to obtain his license. Chen Xiao wished to avoid the ordeal of waiting in the sweltering sun with a group of individuals practicing driving. He had experienced that discomfort before. The best solution would be to purchase a car and hire a driver. However, another dilemma arose. The cars of this era were, in Chen Xiao's discerning eyes, exceedingly unattractive. Compared to the intricately crafted vehicles of the future, those of this time left much to be desired. Of course, not all cars were beneath his standards. Models like the 10th generation Mercedes-Benz exuded a fierce charm, while the ever-unchanging Porsche retained its classic appeal, differing from future iterations only in craftsmanship. The Rolls-Royce Ghost remained an eternal classic. Furthermore, vehicles like Lamborghini and Ferrari perfectly aligned with Chen Xiao's aesthetic preferences, albeit not with the thickness of his wallet. Alas, the necessity to earn money persists. Upon returning to the dormitory, Ji Yu was engrossed in his perennial gaming. Liu Xian sat at the computer, tugging at his hair in frustration. Chen Xiao returned and offered them cigarettes, saying, "Stop tugging at your hair. Do you have any idea how expensive hair transplants are? They charge by the follicle." Liu Xian exclaimed, "Damn it, Li Wenli is incredibly ruthless." Chen Xiao, already aware of the situation, chuckled and inquired, "What has happened now?" Liu Xian recounted, "I asked Shen Jianshang to answer for me, but when the teacher called my name, Li Wenli stood up before him to report that I was skipping class. How outrageous! Such a public denunciation. The elective course instructor treated it as a prime example." Chen Xiao burst into laughter. "It's no big deal. It's just an elective course. You can easily retake it next year, saving you time in the morning and evening." Liu Xian remained somewhat disheartened, lamenting that the stock market had not been favorable lately. He had invested 5,000 yuan, only to be trapped in losses. "Are you still trading stocks?" Chen Xiao asked. "Trading? What a joke. Who wins every day? It's better to take profits when you can," Liu Xian replied, frustrated. "I'm afraid not. Having studied macroeconomics so thoroughly in my elective course, it would be a waste of knowledge not to engage in stock trading." Chen Xiao was speechless. If a solid understanding of economics guaranteed success in the stock market, then every economics professor at universities would have already become wealthy, rather than teaching a trivial elective course. Liu Xian was taken aback, responding that it was simply because they were older and couldn't keep up with the times. Chen Xiao rolled his eyes, declaring that Liu Xian was beyond redemption. "Fine, let's go ahead and lose everything. You bastard, get lost." Chapter 25. Chen Xiao promptly pulled him up, insisting that they stop watching and instead accompany him for dinner, promising to continue losing money tomorrow. "You scoundrel, I'm not going. Grilling skewers and drinking, not going? I'm in." Ji Yuzheng immediately sprang from the sofa to get dressed. Chen Xiao remarked, while Liu Xian stood there bewildered. "Damn it, you're going to cry at dinner?" The three found themselves at a barbecue shop on the back street, ordering a simple selection of skewers and beer. They chatted and laughed as they leisurely enjoyed their meal. An hour passed, and they were thoroughly satisfied. "Boss, let's settle the bill," Chen Xiao called out. The proprietor approached, saying, "Oh, someone has already taken care of it. There's no need to pay." "Excuse me? It's already been settled?" Liu Xian and Ji Yuzheng looked around, curious about which of them had such impressive connections. Soon, Sun Ying, dining with a friend, approached their table. Ji Yuzheng nearly drooled. This girl was exceptionally beautiful. I happened to see you all dining, so I took the liberty of paying the bill, Sun Ying said. Chen Xiao smiled, feeling a bit embarrassed. Sun Ying rolled her enchanting eyes and teasingly remarked, "Is it possible for a junior to feel embarrassed?" Chen Xiao quickly understood, clearing his throat and saying, Senior, we've finished our meal. Goodbye." He gestured for the two to return to school. Ji Yuzheng, reluctant to leave, held up his empty cup and insisted, "Since the senior treated us, I must toast in gratitude." Chen Xiao was speechless, thinking to himself that Ji Yuzheng wanted toast, but was also hoping to mooch off of her. Sun Ying glanced at Ji Yuzheng and replied, "Oh, that's unnecessary. My friends and I just had a light meal, no alcohol involved." Yi Yuzheng, holding his plastic cup suspended in the air, gazed at the multitude of empty bottles on the table, lost in thought. After leaving, Chen Xiao sent a text message. "Just enough alcohol will do." Before long, he received a reply. "All right, little wolf cub, kisses." Chen Xiao thought to himself, "You'll eventually call me daddy." Perhaps his youthful body was too easily stirred. A mere tease was enough to ignite an overwhelming desire. Upon returning to the dormitory, he took a cold shower, which helped alleviate his discomfort somewhat. He then grabbed 2 packs of cigarettes and kicked open the doors to all the male dorm rooms. "Come on, stop watching those stupid videos. Let us get some red alert multiplayer going." With the cigarettes dispersed, 12 individuals split into 2 teams and engaged in heated competition until the power to the dormitory was cut off, leaving them wanting more. A group of them rushed out of the dorm, cursing loudly. "Damn it, you incompetent fool. I told you to guard the top lane. What were you doing? Get lost." I was overwhelmed, and you all didn't come to support me. I'm going to make you pay for this. The gameplay was truly abysmal, prompting a fatherly figure to offer guidance. Chen Xiao, amused, observed the group, noting that apart from himself, they were all novices. The following day, Chen Xiao opted not to remain at his dormitory's computer, but instead attended class. With the acquisition of a smartphone, he could engage in trading through his brokerage, thus avoiding the prying eyes of his peers. "Wow, son, you've changed your phone," Lu Xin remarked, noticing the difference in Chen Xiao's device. "Indeed, I invested my earnings from the past period along with this month's allowance into it. I'll be relying on you for meals this month," Chen Xiao replied. "Get lost. I'm practically eating dirt every day. You can fend for yourself," Lu Xin retorted. Chen Xiao, unimpressed, responded, "Fine, then enjoy your own fare." Lu Xin, without hesitation, snatched the phone from Chen Xiao. "Let me see it," he demanded. Chen Xiao was unconcerned. His stock account required a login each time it was accessed. "You're advising me while you've also downloaded the brokerage app?" Lu Xin quipped. "I'm merely waiting for the right opportunity. Perhaps I won't need to use it at all," Chen Xiao explained. Lu Xin shrugged and returned the phone, further solidifying his own desire to acquire a phone for trading. Understanding Lu Xin's intentions, Chen Xiao suggested, "Why not sell your stocks and buy one as well?" With a sigh, Lu Xin lamented, "Those are my tuition fees. I'm counting on trading to recover that loss. If only I could turn back time, I would never have touched these things." Chen Xiao replied, "Well, at least you're being rational. However, there is no remedy for regret in life." He regarded this experience as a lesson, knowing that he could make up for the tuition before graduation. Upon reaching the classroom, Chen Xiao settled into a rear seat, occupying the outer seat in a pair, successfully warding off a few individuals intent on sitting there, thus creating a private space. Li Wenli did not attend class, and Chen Xiao refrained from inquiring about her absence. She was likely too fatigued to come, given the exertion from the previous day. Tan Chen glanced back a few times, but Chen Xiao remained oblivious to her. His attention was wholly absorbed in the stock market. Yesterday, Jinchuan Express had yielded a profit of 131 points, and today, it opened high and ascended smoothly without much fluctuation. Chen Xiao perused the favorable news regarding Jinchuan Express, discovering that it had won a bid for a provincial highway project in an economic zone. After some contemplation, he decided to invest the remaining 100,000 yuan using a tenfold leverage on Jinchuan Express. Although only a 5-point profit margin remained, it was better than nothing, a mere pocket change. After executing the trade, Jinchuan Express surged as if invigorated, racing toward its upper limit. A smile spread across Chen Xiao's face, his spirits lifted. This wave of momentum would likely yield profits exceeding 1 million yuan. This marked the first time in his life that he held such a substantial sum of cash, a milestone of significant importance. "All right, let us have the male student in the second-to-last row on the left answer this question." Just then, the teacher's voice resonated, and the classroom fell silent. Chen Xiao was momentarily taken aback, wondering if the teacher was referring to him. He set his phone down and slowly rose, his expression blank. Who knew what question the teacher had posed? He was a loss for words. Beside him, Lu Xan, Shun Jiansheng, and Wu Ling were whispering answers to one another. However, Chun Xiao was utterly bewildered. He could barely grasp the incoherent chatter about dollars, pounds, Venezuela, leaving him completely at a loss. The teacher eyed him with curiosity, while the rest of the class remained silent. Lu Xian and the others promptly sealed their lips. Chun Xiao glanced around and candidly admitted, teacher, I don't know the answer to this question. In an instant, the entire class erupted in laughter. Even the teacher couldn't suppress a smile. You don't know this question? Gulme, what is your name? Chun Xiao thought for a moment and replied, Teacher, my name is Ji Yuzhing. A few classmates around him stifled their laughter. Chapter 26. Joyful Beans. The teacher, oblivious to the commotion, lowered his head to search the roster, marking something down. Tan Cheng turned in surprise, as it seemed out of character for Chun Xiao to behave in such a manner. Dear students, university is not a liberation, but rather a new journey. I hope everyone can respect knowledge and not be like Ji Yuzhing, who can only hold his phone and chuckle, unable to name even one of the three main currencies circulating in the global economy. If you do not understand money, how will you earn it in the future? Another wave of laughter swept through the classroom. Chun Xiao felt somewhat speechless. Who could predict the teacher would pose such a simple question? As for making money, he had just made over $1 million in class. Did that not count as earning? Nevertheless, he had no intention of arguing with the teacher. Sit down, the teacher advised, not pressing him further. Chun Xiao smiled at the teacher and obediently took his seat. Lu Xian leaned over and whispered, You fool, were you watching videos during class? Chun Xiao made a rolling gesture with his mouth, then returned to his studies. The remainder of the class proceeded smoothly, with Chun Xiao receiving special attention, remaining well-behaved until the bell rang. As soon as class was dismissed, he was the first to dash out of the classroom. Lu Xian followed closely behind, remarking to Shun Jiansheng, Look at him run as if chased by a dog. He must be in a hurry to use the restroom. Shun Jiansheng chuckled, sighing alas. The fleeting nature of youth. Wu Ling pinched Shun Jiansheng, prompting him to yelp in pain. Ouch. What is wrong with you? Wu Ling remarked, however. Every time we have class with the music department, Xiaozi always finds an excuse to leave last, just to steal a glance at Tancheng. Now it seems different. Who knew what was going through his mind? Let's go play some billiards. As Tancheng stood up, she casually glanced back, but not a trace of Chun Xiao was in sight, leaving her feeling somewhat disheartened. In the past, he would only leave after ensuring she had departed. Chun Xiao's mind was consumed with thoughts of $1 million. As for Tancheng, she had long since been cast aside from his thoughts. Before returning to his dormitory, he stopped by the supermarket to buy a pack of his usual cigarettes, which he tossed to Xiao Ji upon arriving back at the dorm. Xiao Ji stared at the cigarettes, bewildered. With a grin, he asked Xiao Go, What is this? Chun Xiao replied, Oh, it's nothing. I just used your name to show off a bit. This is a token of appreciation for your copyright. Xiao Ji was taken aback. Wait, you can do that? You can earn cigarettes this way? Laozi's name has become quite valuable, hasn't it? Brother Xiao is quite the connoisseur, but how did you manage that? Chun Xiao lit a cigarette and remarked, It's nothing much. During class, when the teacher asked a question I couldn't answer, she inquired about my name, and I said it was Ji Yuzhing. She then took note of it. Little Ji exclaimed, What? Xiaozi, you put me in a bind. Chun Xiao replied, Let's add 2 more. Little Ji agreed, deal. In that moment, he felt the cigarette was no longer as harsh on his throat. Having one's name remembered by the teacher is hardly a good omen. It seems there's no escaping this course. Little Ji snatched the class schedule, placing it under the entire cigarette, and circled the course in its entirety. Having settled matters with Little Ji, Chun Xiao opened his computer and calculated his recent gains. With an initial capital of 50, leveraging it tenfold, he reached 5 million. In just 2 days, he achieved a staggering 231% return, netting him 11.55 million. Coupled with another 100,000 leveraged to 10 times, yielding a 5% gain, he secured an additional 50,000. In total, his profits amounted to 12.05 million. Including his principal, that sums up to 18.05 million. Chun Xiao gazed at the figure for quite some time. Leverage truly is a remarkable tool. Moments later, Little Ji leaned over and asked, What are you calculating with so many digits? Chun Xiao casually responded, Oh, that's just my happy beans. Little Ji meticulously counted units, tens, hundreds. Is that all? It's nothing. Then, with bravado, he declared, Once I play with my account, I'll spend over 10 million without a care. Chun Xiao looked at Little Ji with a mix of affection and bemusement. All right, next time we can use your account. satisfied after showing off. Little G returned to his game. Chen Xiao lowered his gaze to his phone, where new hidden information had emerged. June 3rd, Zhixin Optoelectronics reached a maximum increase of 1,000. A smile crept across Chen Zhao's face. Yet another stock hit its limit. Upon locating Zhixin Optoelectronics, his smile brightened even more. The company's second quarter financial report was less than favorable, with excessive research and development expenditures leading to dismal performance, and the market held a generally pessimistic view of it. Such stocks, which have hit their limit down, are Chen Zhao's favorites, as they possess no downward potential, ensuring absolute safety. Yet, out of caution against the risk of stagnant market conditions or further downward trends at the next opening, he decided to invest $6 million in the capital market. Amplified tenfold, that equated to $16 million. This was not mere happy beans, but genuine currency. With such a substantial amount, Chen Xiao could not afford to make purchases as recklessly as before, given that the limit-down orders were not particularly plentiful. He needed to buy in batches to avoid triggering price fluctuations. Chen Xiao executed trades in dozens or even hundreds of shares at a time. It seemed there were market makers intent on suppressing the stock price. Every time he nearly cleared the limit orders, new substantial orders would appear. Chen Xiao welcomed them all, persistently buying and buying. For a full hour, his fingers grew weary, repeatedly performing the same motions. The realization dawned on him that he required a team. If this was the toll taken by just over 10 million, how would he manage with larger sums? Suddenly, Chen Xiao noticed that the limit orders had vanished. No new orders were forthcoming. Could it be that the price was about to rise? However, he soon set his mind at ease. Perhaps the dealer had grown weary of him, as they promptly unleashed tens of thousands of sell orders. Chen Xiao was so elated that he nearly leaped with joy. It was as if someone had provided him a pillow just as he was feeling drowsy. The opposing party seemed to be concerned about his struggles, generously presenting him with such a substantial piece of cake. Chen Xiao eagerly bought up all the sell orders, finally spending $16 million and successfully establishing his position. In a certain office building in the Magic City, a group of individuals sat in utter silence. The manager had witnessed the entirety of those tens of thousands of orders being consumed. What? Has this person gone mad? Put up another 10,000 orders. We must firmly suppress the limit down and undermine market confidence. Understood. The traders swiftly executed the order and then fixed their gaze upon the screen. Half an hour later, he finally exhaled in relief. Manager, no new buyers have emerged. Huh, with such feeble strength, do they dare to contend with me? After completing his transactions, Chen Xiao exited the securities market. He held no curiosity about the identity or intentions of the opposing party. His sole focus was to achieve his own objectives and then await the influx of funds. Stretching his sore shoulders, Chen Xiao stepped out of the dormitory with a cigarette in his mouth. He retrieved Su Tang's number and dialed. Chapter 27. Your standards are quite kinda low, Mr. Chen. Greetings, Su Tang. Are you busy? I'm not occupied. Please give your instructions. Chen Xiao chuckled. It wasn't truly an instruction. If you have time, please come to the school. I wish to discuss something with you in person. Su Tang was taken aback, given the seriousness of his tone. What could there possibly be between them? Perhaps it was regarding the previous invitation. Very well, Mr. Chen. I'll arrive in half an hour. After hanging up, Chen Xiao glanced at the time. In half an hour, it would be mealtime. He planned to revisit the campus cafeteria with Su Tang. As he traversed the corridor between Dormitory 5 and Dormitory 6, he intended to take a few laps around the sports field. Just as he was about to reach the stadium, he unexpectedly spotted a hidden corner by the girls' dormitory number 6, where a boy was conversing with Tan Cheng. Tan Cheng remained silent while the boy appeared to be fervently explaining something, gesticulating animatedly. Chen Xiao furrowed his brow, intending to avert his gaze, but coincidentally, Tan Cheng caught sight of him. She froze momentarily, and the boy, noticing her gaze, turned to look as well. Chen Xiao raised an eyebrow. Wasn't he the fellow who had wooed Tan Cheng with a fake diamond ring worth 200 yuan? Continuing his stride, he drew closer, enabling him to overhear their dialogue. The boy was loudly questioning, "Who is he? What is your relationship with him?" Tan Cheng replied softly, "A classmate from a large lecture. It's nothing." "It's nothing?" He asked, staring at you. "Just look at his expression." Tan Cheng insisted, "You're overthinking it. He merely pursued me before, but I never agreed." Chen Xiao halted his steps and turned to regard Tan Cheng. His final thread of hesitation dissipated. "What are you looking at?" The boy barked, baring his teeth as if ready to bite. Chen Xiao suddenly laughed and extended his thumb towards them. "Impressive. Tan Cheng, you are truly remarkable. You got something?" Tan Cheng was taken aback. unable to believe that Chun Xiao would utter such crude words to her. What the hell? The young man, disregarding Tan Cheng, charged forward. Chun Xiao took a half-step back, instantly regaining his composure, adopting a combat stance while seeking a vital point for a decisive strike. Tan Cheng hurriedly grasped his arm. Lu Xing, are you insane? Do you not fear disciplinary action from the school? Lu Xing paused, aware that although he had some connections within the institution, such favors were not to be taken for granted. Bro, what is your major? Chun Xiao relaxed. He had initially intended to ignore him, but not responding felt like a sign of cowardice. Class 2 of painting. All right, I'll remember you. Chun Xiao smiled, but remained silent. He had indeed committed Lu Xing to memory, yet he would not engage him further. Instead, he cast a sidelong glance at Lu Xing, then turned away, continuing towards the sports field. In Chun Xiao's eyes, individuals like Lu Xing were no different from refuse. The dread of capital was a concept far beyond Lu Xing's current comprehension. Not only was he a mere student yet to step into society, but even the so-called connections behind him, his entire family, would face dire consequences if targeted by capital interests. Of course, there existed a singular exception. A family with impeccable integrity, unblemished in character, could withstand the onslaught of capital's moral disregard, merely incurring minor inconveniences. However, a family capable of raising someone as exemplary as Lu Xing was unlikely to possess such cleanliness, to manipulate others' emotions for a mere 200 yuan. While the female party might bear some blame, Lu Xing himself was no less despicable. As for crossing legal boundaries, Chun Xiao would not entertain such thoughts. His life was destined for brilliance and would not be sullied by a mere fly. Nevertheless, within the confines of the law, there were countless avenues to explore. Chun Xiao was in no rush. He was intrigued to observe just how far the pitiful Tan Cheng would go. Upon arriving at the playground, Chun Xiao cast aside the earlier events entirely. They were trivial, not worth remembering beyond 5 minutes. After a brief stroll, he received a call from Su Tang, arranging to meet at the entrance of the third cafeteria. Mr. Chun, I apologize for keeping you waiting. Clad in professional attire, Su Tang stood gracefully at the entrance of the third cafeteria. Students passing by, regardless of gender, couldn't help but steal glances at her. A workplace beauty like Su Tang was a figure of aspiration for their age, especially with her striking looks. Chun Xiao smiled. No worries. My time at school is quite leisurely. Shall we? Please don't mind the simplicity inside. Su Tang replied with a gentle smile. It's been so long since I experienced campus life. Dining here is far more meaningful than anywhere else. The two ordered their meals and settled into a secluded corner. During their meal, Chun Xiao engaged in light conversation, gleaning a wealth of information about Su Tang. Her parents ran a small business, affording them a comfortable living, which in this era, essentially placed them within the threshold of the middle class. As for Su Tang herself, she was a graduate of a prestigious university. Yet misfortune befell her as she entered a major corporation, only to be assigned to the sales department under the pretext of rotation. Chun Xiao understood her predicament all too well. A beauty of her caliber likely caught the eye of some higher-ups during the resume screening process, leading to a series of manipulative tactics designed to draw her in step by step. However, Chun Xiao did not elaborate, as these matters would soon have little relevance to Su Tang. After finishing their meal, Chun Xiao intended to address serious matters. Su Tang, he called. Mr. Chun, please go ahead, Su Tang replied, sensing the shift in the atmosphere, which was markedly different from their earlier conversation during dinner. What is your current salary? He inquired. Oh, over 3,000, Su Tang replied candidly. Chun Xiao nodded and suddenly asked, what is your dream? Su Tang was taken aback, pondering the question for a long while. In summary, I wish to see a broader world and stand on a higher stage. Chun Xiao was momentarily stunned. He believed Su Tang was speaking the truth. Yet he had not anticipated such grand aspirations. Having dreams makes things easier. Only those devoid of desires are beyond reproach. I do not favor such individuals, as they are beyond my control. Your dream is quite ambitious. How much are you willing to sacrifice for it? Chun Xiao lit a cigarette, his gaze fixed intently on Su Tang. She bit her lip, replying, I will give it my all. Each of her responses met with Chun Xiao's approval. Extinguishing his cigarette, Chun Xiao leaned slightly forward and spoke in a tone only they could hear. I can help you realize your dream, but I also need your assistance. Su Tang felt a surge of excitement. Through their interactions, she understood that Chun Xiao was no ordinary person. After returning from the hotel last time, she had researched him, and his recent maneuver was nothing short of brilliant. Aligning herself with someone of his caliber seemed to be the most promising path toward achieving her dreams. Mr. Chun, I am willing to join your team. Chen Xiao raised a hand. Not so fast. I have many flaws, and not all of my actions are virtuous, though I certainly do not engage in illegal activities. Su Tang smiled. Mr. Chun, your standards are quite benevolent in the capital market. Chen Xiao paused, realizing the truth in her words. Some forms of capital were indeed stained with blood. Chapter 28. How could anyone bow to him? Her recognition of this fact left little more to be said. Su Tang was an astute individual, already mentally prepared for the thorny path that lay ahead toward the pinnacle of success. Chen Xiao straightened in his seat, his demeanor relaxing. Good, welcome aboard. The probation period is 1 month, with a base salary of 10,000. Su Tang immediately stood up, bowing in excitement. To follow such a prodigy was an opportunity sought by many, yet attained by few. Thank you, boss. Chen Xiao quickly waved his hand. Please sit down. We must remain low-key at school. Oh, of course, Su Tang replied, sitting back down, chiding herself for her exuberance. Chen Xiao, noting her attire, understood her desire for discretion. Pondering for a moment, he said, I need a professional team. Su Tang took out a notebook and pen. All right, the basic configuration includes traders, fund managers, and analysts. Chen Xiao replied, in our team, we only need traders. Su Tang was momentarily taken aback, but quickly comprehended. The boss likely had his own channels for acquiring information, and no one was better suited than he to be a fund manager. Thus, only a few traders to execute the work were needed. Understood, boss. What are your requirements? Chen Xiao raised 2 fingers, signifying 2 qualities. First, strong capability. Second, integrity. Su Tang solemnly noted this down, affirming, understood, boss, I shall remember. Furthermore, you need to find an office space that is well situated and in proximity to the school. Chen Xiao instructed. Understood. For now, that will be all. I shall inform you of any further thoughts, Chen Xiao concluded. All right, boss, I shall take my leave. MHM. Su Tang swiftly gathered her belongings and exited the cafeteria with decisive speed. Chen Xiao took a sip of the nearly empty bowl of seaweed and egg soup before him, a smile unconsciously gracing his face. He greatly appreciated Su Tang's work ethic, her perspectives, and her considerable emotional intelligence. For instance, during their previous encounter at the hotel, Su Tang exhibited no emotional fluctuations or curiosity throughout their interaction. Similarly, in this instance, she did not bring up her work arrangements, compensation, salary, or insurance, as she preferred not to impose additional burdens on her employer, understanding that her role was to alleviate his troubles. Some people truly know how to get things done. Chen Xiao mused. Without Su Tang, he would have to handle these matters himself, a thought that was quite overwhelming. He tripled Su Tang's salary, not out of a desire to flaunt wealth, but rather to provide compensation that matched her true value. This principle extended beyond Su Tang to his senior, Sun Ning. Although their relationship was mutually beneficial, Chen Xiao still bought her a phone, which he considered a fair exchange. As for the matter of lending money, that would be addressed separately, as he had plans in place. The same applied to others, including his friends Liu Xin, Shun Jiansheng, and even Xiao Ji. Each was treated similarly. Of course, Xiao Ji only received a few packs of cigarettes, as he merely satisfied Chen Zhao's desire for control. In a corner of the cafeteria, Tan Cheng furrowed her brow in contemplation. She had just witnessed Su Tang bowing and was profoundly struck. How could someone like Chen Xiao command such respect? Especially from a stunning woman? Did he harbor some hidden secret? With this thought, she quietly rose and nonchalantly made her way towards Chen Xiao, hoping for a chance encounter while subtly probing into his affairs. However, to her surprise, before she could reach him, Chen Xiao had already risen and was heading towards the classroom. Taken aback, Tan Cheng quickened her pace. Meanwhile, Chen Zhao's phone buzzed with a message from Wu Ling. Hurry. The professional course teacher is furious. Thus, he quickened his steps. Tan Cheng chased him to the lakeside, breathless. She had intended for a casual encounter, but felt as though she were running a marathon. Watching Chen Zhao's disappearing figure, she stomped her foot in frustration and turned back. Unbeknownst to Chen Xiao, Tan Cheng was following him. Even if he had known, he would not have halted. After all, the wrath of the professional course teacher was far more consequential than Tan Cheng's pursuit. He hastened his steps and finally arrived at the classroom just before roll call. The teacher shot him a glare, but said nothing. Chen Xiao dutifully attended the class, and once the peril had passed, he dared to take out his phone to search for favorable information regarding Zhixin Optoelectronics, only to find none. The stock price remained steadfast at its limit down stage, with a glaring multitude of sell orders weighing heavily above. Chen Xiao sighed, pondering whether today would yield any support. Upon uttering this thought, it seemed as if a spell had been broken, as a significant number of sell orders vanished in an instant. Chun Xiao rubbed his eyes vigorously. Goodness. He refrained from continuing to observe the trend and instead searched for favorable news regarding Jixin Optoelectronics. At last, he stumbled upon a piece of information. A fruit company had included Jixin Optoelectronics among its list of component suppliers. Goodness, this was a windfall. To become a supplier for a prominent fruit technology company was undoubtedly a pathway to wealth. Chun Xiao glanced at the stock chart, which now exhibited a sharp upward trajectory, with the previous sellers nowhere to be found. The stock price surged from its limit down to hitting the ceiling. Wealth was within reach. At this rate, transforming 1 million into 10 million would likely transpire far quicker than going from 0 to 1 million. Indeed, the wealthier one becomes, the faster one earns. As he crossed the chasm from millions to tens of millions, Chun Xiao felt a surge of exhilaration. He had yet to reach the stage where money was merely a number. Each increment in his assets brought him immense satisfaction. What are you up to? Focus on your studies. Mr. Wang approached from the side. Chun Xiao smiled. Class is over, Mr. Wang. Let's go have a smoke. Mr. Wang was quite stern during lessons, yet once class concluded, he conversed with students as if they were equals. Glancing at the clock, Wang Hua suggested, "Let us head to the coffee shop at the arts hall and grab a cup." As soon as he said this, several audacious boys followed suit. They often took advantage of Mr. Wang's coffee. Chun Xiao rushed to the coffee shop and purchased a pack of 1916, Mr. Wang's favorite cigarettes. The coffee shop at the arts hall offered only a few premium brands, with the cheapest being Huazi. The Art College of Jining University was renowned across the nation, frequently hosting celebrities for exchanges and learning. Every instructor at the college was quite accomplished. As for their level of expertise, Chun Xiao was uncertain, but he felt he surpassed them. Outside the arts hall, there was a platform adorned with tables and chairs, where a few students had successfully procured Mr. Wang's 1916 and were savoring their indulgence. Mr. Wang, devoted to art throughout his life, had a significant addiction to smoking. Chun Xiao approached and snatched the 1916 from Mr. Wang, replacing it with a new pack in his pocket. "Mr. Wang, I have a light smoking habit. I'll stick to this. You take mine, otherwise. You want tea, have enough for today." If it were anything else, Wang Hua would have certainly declined, but when it came to cigarettes, he couldn't part with them for a moment. Just as Wang Hua was about to reach for his wallet, Chun Xiao swiftly covered his pocket. "Brother Wang, do you look down upon your fellow brothers? Get lost." All right. Amidst their banter, Chun Xiao managed to erase the debt he nearly incurred for being late today, while also strengthening his rapport with Mr. Wang for future escapades. Chapter 29. I also enjoy running as usual. Wang Hua took the opportunity to impart earnest wisdom to the group of younger students, emphasizing the importance of choosing a solid major and other such counsel. However, Chun Xiao absorbed none of it, while the others nodded their heads like garlic being pounded. Though how much of it actually registered, he could not say. Although Chun Xiao was a major in sculpture, he harbored no genuine interest in art. After graduating in his previous life, he worked for 2 years without ever touching art again. Bored and restless, he rushed out of class as soon as it was over. Upon exiting, he spotted Li Wenli and approached her, whispering, "Haven't seen you lately. What have you been up to?" Li Wenli playfully pinched him and replied, "It's all your fault. I really can't stand you." Chun Xiao understood precisely what aspect she found intolerable. Clearing his throat, he remarked, "I told you to exercise more." Li Wenli shot him an incredulous look. "Is this about exercising?" She glanced around before adding softly, "There are limits to everything." Chun Xiao, at a loss for words, attempted to change the subject. "So, are you heading to class?" "Yes." "Are you done for the day?" "Indeed." "Shall we meet tonight?" Li Wenli quickly shook her head. No. Go find a senior instead. I need to take a break." Chun Xiao paused in surprise, then smiled. "How about I take you shopping this weekend?" At the mention of shopping, Li Wenli's face brightened. She found him incredibly charming during their outings. "All right, see you this weekend. Don't think about me too much in the meantime. Goodbye." That evening, Xiao Ji inexplicably got into a heated argument with his girlfriend over the phone. Chun Xiao recalled a similar incident from his previous life, where the quarrel lasted half the night. Frustrated, Chun Xiao decided to get up. Grabbing his phone and wallet, he stepped outside. Staying in the dormitory tonight would mean no sleep. Once outside, he scrolled through his phone, considering that Li Wenli needed to rest for a few days. He then decided to call Sun Ing. "Hello, is my little brother looking for me? What are you up to? Come out." Sun Ing hesitated right now. "I was just about to sleep. Meet me at our usual spot. I'll be waiting." After hanging up, Sun Ing muttered to herself, "He is getting increasingly audacious. Let's see how this senior deals with him tonight." Chun Xiao booked a room at the best hotel in the back street and sent the room details to Sun Ing. wasn't long before she arrived. Perhaps in a hurry, Sun Ying was dressed quite lightly, wearing white shorts and a fitted white top, exuding confidence. Unable to contain himself, Chun Xiao remarked, "I'm going to take a shower first." Sun Ying responded, "I'll be quick." Normally, a shower would only take a few minutes. Yet she took half an hour to emerge. Complaining, Sun Ying said, "The bathroom tiles are too slippery. I nearly fell." Chun Xiao chuckled, "With me around? How could you possibly fall? You're too strong. Have you been working out again?" Chun Xiao nodded. "Yes, I run every day and occasionally hit the gym." Sun Ying feigned annoyance. "I told you not to work out. At this rate, who can handle you?" Chun Xiao laughed and leaned closer. "Just practice more." No. The following day, no amount of coaxing could rouse Sun Ying from her slumber. After saying goodbye, Chun Xiao returned to school, adhering to his unwavering routine of daily runs. The sports field was gradually becoming more populated. As Chun Xiao commenced his run, he was approached from behind by a voice. "Chun Xiao, did you stay out last night?" Turning around, he found it was Xia Yudi. "How did you know?" he inquired. "When I arrived just now, I saw you coming back from the alley," she replied. "Oh, is that so? Do you also run?" he asked. "Indeed, I enjoy running as well." Chun Xiao cast a skeptical glance at her, but remained silent. Before completing a lap, Xia Yudi's fib was revealed when she clutched at Chun Xiao's shirt, nearly collapsing in exhaustion. "I can't go on. I need to rest for a moment." Chun Xiao was at a loss for words. "Come on, we've only just started. It's my first time, so I need to take it easy. Then you can sit here and rest while I continue to run." "All right, that works for me." After settling her on the bleachers, Chun Xiao returned to the track. Running alone, Xia Yudi sat on the bleachers, her elbows resting on her thighs, her delicate chin cradled in her hands, her gaze following Chun Xiao's figure. Beneath the sun, the young man was drenched in sweat, exuding a potent scent of vitality that left Xia Yudi slightly dazed. How can he be so handsome? From the moment she first encountered Chun Xiao on the bus, she found herself irresistibly drawn to him, even feigning sleep to steal glances at him. However, after leaving her number, she had yet to hear from him. Thus, she had discreetly followed him for a few days, observing his morning routine, leading to their serendipitous meeting today. Despite a late night, Chun Xiao's energy remained abundant, and he continued running for 7 or 8 laps before finally stopping. His clothes were thoroughly soaked, and his well-proportioned physique radiated a sun-kissed glow. Xia Yudi took a tissue and gently wiped the sweat from his cheeks, treating him as one would a cherished work of art. In her eyes, there sparkled an abundance of stars. Clearing his throat, Chun Xiao said, "All right, let us grab a meal together, then I'll head home for a shower." "Okay," Xia Yudi chirped, bouncing after him, her heart racing as she admired his tall, sturdy frame. She was a petite girl with a dainty figure and an adorable face, her voice reminiscent of a sweet melody. After purchasing a simple breakfast, they sat across from each other. "Do you know why I stayed out last night?" Chun Xiao asked. Xia Yudi took a bite of her bun and replied, "What other reason could there be? You were with a girlfriend, right?" Chun Xiao clarified, "While I did stay out, she is not my girlfriend." Instead of being surprised, Xia Yudi's curiosity piqued. "Oh, what will you do if your girlfriend finds out?" "I don't have a girlfriend," Chun Xiao stated. Xia Yudi was taken aback. "You truly have no girlfriend? A perfect boy like you?" Chun Xiao, startled, touched his face and quickly pulled out his phone to check his reflection, sighing in relief. The way Xia Yudi spoke made him feel as if he had transcended into another realm. He pondered what it was about him that made her view him as so flawless. "It's because I pursued someone, but she didn't agree." Xia Yudi's expression turned astonished. "What kind of girl would reject your pursuit? Is she blind?" As Tan Chung passed by while purchasing breakfast, her expression was exceedingly grim. Chapter 30. Who Desires Your Heart? This was not solely due to the venomous remarks from the charming young girl. She was also perplexed by the sudden emergence of beautiful women surrounding Chun Xiao. Could it be that he intentionally summoned them to provoke her? Perhaps this notion held a grain of truth. Chun Xiao had not anticipated Tan Cheng's fortuitous encounter. He bore no intention of flaunting. "Don't exaggerate. I'm just an ordinary person. Not as remarkable as you claim," he replied. Xia Yudi countered, "No, you are indeed that exceptional. Since you do not have a girlfriend, I can rest easy." Chun Xiao asked, "What do you intend to do?" Xia Yudi's eyes sparkled with affection as she gazed at him. "Don't be nervous. I was initially torn about whether to compete with your girlfriend, but now that there isn't one, I feel no psychological burden." "What do you mean?" Chun Xiao inquired. "I'm not in a relationship. No one can capture my heart." "Why would I want your heart?" "My goal is to possess you," she declared. "I have matters to attend to," Chun Xiao said, swiftly grabbing his phone and dashing away. Xia Yudi remained enchanted, gazing at his retreating figure. "Oh, those captivating legs and that deadly waist. Perfection." After running a few dozen meters, Chun Xiao dared to glance back. Is it true that modern girls are this intimidating? He pondered, feeling as though Xia Yudi's gaze sought to undress him. How could such a petite and adorable girl contemplate his physique daily? Looking at the time, he realized it was nearly 9 o'clock and quickened his pace. Upon returning, he took a swift shower and sat at his desk. After the market opened, Jixin Optoelectronics hit its upper limit. Chun Xiao had initially planned to sell, but upon casually glancing at hidden information, he immediately halted. On June 4th, Jixin Optoelectronics reached a maximum increase of 1,000. To his astonishment, it was indeed information about Jixin Optoelectronics, indicating that another limit up was likely tomorrow. Chun Xiao felt disheartened. This meant no trading could occur today. The upper limit had already been reached, and tomorrow would see a maximum gain of 10, with no other possibilities. As of today, the rise was 30, yielding a profit of 4.8 million. If another limit up occurred tomorrow, the profit would soar to 6.4 million. Chun Xiao found himself troubled over a mere additional profit of over 100,000. He suddenly felt excessively greedy, shaking his head to dispel such thoughts. He closed his phone and attended class. After all, nothing significant had transpired in the stock market. Jiu Zheng was still engrossed in a game, yet the expression on his face betrayed his lack of joy. He wondered if a girl named Ma Yijia from the vocal department would follow the same path as Li Wenli in his past life. Of course, these musings were merely idle thoughts for Chun Xiao, and once class commenced, he had no time to ponder them, especially with Xia Yudi demanding his attention. The students in class 2 were left astounded. In the rear of the classroom, a girl who could almost be deemed the epitome of cuteness occupied the seat beside Chun Xiao, incessantly bothering him while he attempted to evade her, his face displaying a mix of helplessness. You're not even from our academy. What brings you here to our class? Xia Yudi gazed at Chun Xiao and remarked, I truly enjoy this class. Can I audit it? Chun Xiao, at a loss for words, responded, Do you even know what this class is about? Xia Yudi hesitated. I don't know, but I like it. Chun Xiao retorted, Just because you like it, does that make a class? Fine, you can attend. But could you refrain from constantly poking me? Xia Yudi replied, It's all right. You focus on your studies, and I'll entertain myself. Chun Xiao muttered under his breath. Tan Xing noticed the girl beside Chun Xiao, who had earlier insulted her in private. She thought to herself, You're the one who's blind. Can good looks fill your stomach? What good is it to be broke? Finally, the class ended, and Chun Xiao leaped from his desk and dashed away. Even that action appeared graceful and stylish in Xia Yudi's eyes. At the back of the classroom, a group of boys were smoking and teasing Chun Xiao. Wow, Xiao has struck gold. How did he manage to win over such an exquisite girl? Does her dorm have any more like her? Introduce her to us. Chun Xiao laughed and cursed. Get lost. I'm not that familiar with her. His words were met with a chorus of boos. Meanwhile, Li Wenli approached Xia Yudi with a scowl. Step outside for a moment. Xia Yudi, taken aback by the tall and radiant girl, guessed she was likely her rival in love. She smiled sweetly, sure. The two found a secluded spot and locked eyes, tension palpable between them. Xia Yudi inquired, Are you Chun Xiao's girlfriend? Li Wenli was momentarily stunned. Girlfriend? They had initially agreed it was just for fun. Although now, captivated by Chun Xiao's charm, she was also awed by his prowess. Could she truly possess such a man? Li Wenli recognized with clarity that it was utterly impossible. Is that so? Though her words lacked strength, her tone was defiant. Xia Yudi chuckled lightly. You aren't even his girlfriend. Why confront me? Are you blaming me for attracting your male classmates? Li Wenli replied, Little sister, I'm doing this for your own good. Chun Xiao's heart is not something you can conquer. Xia Yudi pouted adorably, puffing out her chest. Who are you calling little sister? I outweigh you by half a pound. Li Wenli couldn't help but laugh at that remark. No, that is not what I meant. I genuinely advise you. Xia Yudi, now serious, stated, Who said I want to conquer his heart? Wouldn't it be better to spend that time playing more games? I only desire his body. Li Wenli gaped, astonished that such a thought was even possible. So, you're an esports girl? Finally, Xia Yudi warned. I advise you not to interfere with me. Of course, I won't hinder you either. With that, she turned haughtily and walked away. Li Wenli felt a headache coming on. Dealing with someone like her left her at a loss. Most importantly, she was uncertain whether Chun Xiao even liked this girl. If she were too aggressive, it might upset him, which would be unfortunate. Oh well, she's not my boyfriend anyway. If it were anyone else, Li Wenli might have sought another companion. But with Chun Xiao, she was captivated not only by his strength, but also by a life she had never dared to dream of. In the vast expanse of the school, discovering another hidden gem akin to this one seems nearly impossible. During the second class, Chun Xiao deliberately positioned himself between Liu Xian and Shen Jianqing. However, to his surprise, Xia Yudi pathetically tugged at Liu Xian's arm, expressing her desire to sit beside Chun Xiao. Liu Xian, taken aback, quickly rubbed the goosebumps on his arm and bolted away. Damn it, I'm leaving. Chun Xiao exclaimed, hey, 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 hold on, don't run. Giggling, Xia Yudi successfully settled beside Chun Xiao once more. Li Wenli rolled her eyes and turned away, preferring not to see or be troubled by the scene. Yet, someone in the front row was overwhelmed with a myriad of emotions, akin to a bottle of mixed flavors. Chapter 31, 40% today. Chun Xiao had finally liberated himself from the stock market, yet he found himself more exhausted than usual, thanks to Xia Yudi's antics. This chameleon-like girl displayed an array of expressions. If Chun Xiao appeared stern, she would instantly adopt a pitiful demeanor that tugged at one's heartstrings. Conversely, if he softened, she treated him like a plush toy. Goodness, one does not pet a dog in such a manner. Chun Xiao lamented, surrendering to the situation. As the final bell rang, Chun Xiao sprang to his feet, but he did not escape. Xia Yudi clutched at his shirt, her lips forming a cute pout as she said, I'm hungry. Let me treat you to a meal. Chun Xiao retorted, why not just eat yourself if you're hungry? I'm not. Yet, Xia Yudi gazed at him with longing eyes. Eventually, Chun Xiao resigned, agreed. It was a perfect opportunity to find a private spot and clarify matters. At a nondescript burger joint on campus, Xia Yudi joyfully sipped from a large cup of cola. Chun Xiao sighed, brother, if you keep this up, the teacher will notice me, and my life will become unbearable. Xia Yudi placed her cup on the table. If you wish for me to leave you alone, it can be arranged. Chun Xiao inquired, what are your terms? Xia Yudi playfully poked his abs, suggesting, if you don't want me to pester you in public, then let us find a private place to do so. Chun Xiao observed, Xia Yudi is beautiful, exuding a sweet and charming demeanor. He found himself somewhat attracted to this type of girl, yet devoid of desire. She was simply visually appealing with no deeper thoughts. Wouldn't it be better for you to find a proper boyfriend? I'm a scoundrel. Xia Yudi pondered. Scoundrel? Ah, what a powerful expression. I shall remember that. Chun Xiao, exasperated, clarified, I meant me a scoundrel. Oh, does that concern me? I have no intention of pursuing a relationship with you. Chun Xiao, left speechless, conceded, all right, you win. Yay! Xia Yudi exclaimed, triumphantly jumping up, spend the weekend with me. Chun Xiao replied, I have no time this weekend. I've made plans with someone. Xia Yudi pouted, then I'll reserve next week. Chun Xiao resigned, sighed, fine. But please don't come to our class again before next weekend. Okay, deal. Chun Xiao breathed a sigh of relief. Well then, I'm off. MHM goodbye. Upon returning to the dormitory, teasing was inevitable. Wow, Xiaozi has perked up. Let me see if there's anything sticking up. Liu Xin Ho Le. Get lost. Idiot. Do I look like you? Brother Xiao, where did you find that girl? She is absolutely stunning, truly the goddess of my dreams. I recall her, during my freshman year. Someone organized a ranking of the most beautiful girls from each department, and she seemed to be the representative from the Foreign Languages College. Is that for real? The gossip among the boys arrives fiercely and departs just as swiftly. Once Dota began, a horde of them busied themselves with hurling insults at teammates and opponents. This allowed Chun Xiao to find some respite. The following morning, Chun Xiao went for his usual run. Xia Yudi, carrying a small shoulder bag, sat yawning in the stands. Chun Xiao sighed, wondering why she was there again. You're not running, he remarked. Xia Yudi replied, I'm not going to your classroom. No one here knows you. Chun Xiao countered, if no one knows me, does that mean no one knows you either? Just look at those boys. Xia Yudi turned her head to glance around. Several boys were casting glances their way, either intentionally or not. Let them look, it won't cost me a thing. Oh, hurry up and run. I'll be watching you from here. Today, Chun Xiao felt particularly invigorated, running 4,000 meters non-stop before finally stopping. Xia Yudi hurried over to him, urging him to sit in the stands. She took out a towel from her bag and gently wiped the sweat from his body, then fetched some warm water to offer him. Chun Xiao quickly accepted it, taking a sip for himself. Cough, I worked up quite a sweat. You should keep your distance. I want tea. I'm not bothered by it. After saying this, she even tidied Chun Xiao's tousled hair that the wind had disheveled. I've never been this attentive to my own dai. Aren't you pleased? Chun Xiao paused, taken aback. Your dai is a dog. At first, Chun Xiao resisted Xia Yudi's attentions, as they affected his life. Yet now, he reveled in her boundless tenderness, particularly the adoration and infatuation reflected in her gaze. Of course, perhaps she was merely enamored with his exterior. However, that was inconsequential. The exterior is also a part of oneself. After breakfast, Xia Yudi yawned her way back to the dormitory, complaining about needing to catch up on sleep. Upon returning to his dorm, Chen Xiao received a call from Su Tang. "Hello, boss, are you awake?" Su Tang inquired tentatively. "Yes, I typically rise at 7, exercise for an hour, and am available around 8. He informed his subordinate of his schedule, making it easier for both himself and her. "All right, I've secured an office building, and I've found 5 traders. When would you like to conduct the interviews?" Chen Xiao pondered for a moment. "Let us do it today. Come pick me up, and we'll check out the office space together." "Understood." 20 minutes later, Su Tang's car stopped at Building 5. Chen Xiao descended in his athletic attire and took a seat in the back. Previously, he had sat in the front passenger seat out of courtesy during rides. But now that Su Tang was his subordinate, he felt no hesitation sitting in the back. "Let us go." "All right," Su Tang then said. "From now on, I'll add an extra 5,000 yuan to your monthly fuel allowance." Su Tang was taken aback. That was quite a generous amount. "Boss, isn't that a bit excessive?" Chen Xiao chuckled. "It's not too much, especially considering you're driving." Then Su Tang should decline. It was settled, Chen Xiao said calmly, not wishing to dwell on this trivial matter. "Oh, very well." Su Tang understood and fell silent. The office she had located was situated by the banks of the Changtung River, in the most bustling commercial district. The facilities were exceptionally comprehensive, merely a short 10-minute journey from Jining University. Chen Xiao felt quite satisfied. Although there would be better locations in the future, none could surpass this one at present. "Boss, we have arrived." Chen Xiao glanced at the time. It was already 9:30. "Let's wait a moment before heading up." "All right," Su Tang replied without further inquiry. Chen Xiao took out his phone and opened the stock market application. GXIN Optoelectronics, as anticipated, had opened with a surge, reaching its upper limit. The volume of orders exceeded several million shares. Chen Xiao examined the hidden information. On June 7th, Haishan Fisheries reached a maximum increase of 669. Tomorrow was the weekend, and the stock market would be closed. Next Monday, another stock he was considering had only a 6% increase. Without hesitation, Chen Xiao decided to liquidate his holdings in GXIN Optoelectronics. He realized a profit of 30% on the first day, followed by another 10% the next day, totaling a remarkable 40%. With a leverage capital of 16 million, his profits amounted to 6 million. It was quicker than robbing a bank. Chapter 32. Recruitment adding to his capital of 1,600,200,000 in reserve funds. Chen Xiao's total assets reached 8.2 million. If all went well, he would easily exceed 10 million on the next trading day. With this amplified capital, he could leverage 70 to 80 million in funds. Chen Xiao could no longer afford to operate as he once did, making arbitrary purchases and sales. 70 to 80 million in the stock market, while not an enormous sum, could significantly influence short-term market fluctuations if deployed in a single day, potentially swaying market momentum. Thus, whether buying or selling, professional expertise was essential. At this moment, as Chen Xiao was assembling his team, the timing was impeccable. "Let us go up and take a look." "All right." Su Tang opened the back door, and Chen Xiao followed her to the 28th floor. The office space was modest, around 500 square meters, yet it boasted an excellent view. Standing before the floor-to-ceiling windows, the meandering expanse of the Changtung River unfolded before him, the buildings on the opposite bank rising in orderly succession. The entire city was in the early stages of grand development. Standing here for a moment was invigorating. The sensation of having the city beneath his feet stirred Chen Xiao's ambitions. For in the not-so-distant future, this feeling would surely be realized. This area was ample enough for Chen Xiao's needs. His team did not require many members. A few dozen square meters would suffice for office work, while the remaining space, aside from Chen Xiao's personal office, he planned to furnish with leisure and entertainment facilities. Basic renovations were already in place. He merely needed to procure some office supplies. In the workspace, 5 young individuals awaited with a sense of anticipation. Chen Xiao greeted them and then entered his private office, which contained only a desk and a few chairs. "Su Tang, let's begin the interviews in order." "All right." Soon, the first candidate entered. The resume clearly delineates that each candidate possesses a minimum of 2 years of trading experience and hails from prestigious institutions. Chen Xiao focuses intently on their professional histories. While words can be deceptive, a person's experiences cannot be